cars to sell. And I'm watching, and it's just like too long. I'm like, she's having trouble. I don't know what the hell. So I called her on her cell phone. I've never had my mom ever answer the cell phone. Never. I don't know. I'm so frustrated. So anyway, I hung up. Then she calls me. She goes, I can't get it started. I said, well, what are you doing? She goes, well, there's no key. I said, yes, there's a key. Well, I have it in my hand, but there's no key. Well, my car has a fob. There's no key that you punch out. You push it into the dash. So she's looking for a key to turn. I said, wait a minute. And she just kept jamming. I'm like, Mom, stop. I said, you have to push the key into the dash. Oh, what do you mean? Oh, I said, see the hole in the dash? You push. Oh, I said, and make sure you have your foot on the brake. I'm pushing it in. I said, you have to have your foot on the brake. So, oh, she goes, okay. All right, it started. Now I'm watching her on the camera the whole time. I can see her like she don't know what to do because she's late now. So she finally got started, and I said, what? I see her, out she goes. I'm like, okay, so now she's on the way. And I'm thinking, you know, she's going into Palmyra. Palmyra cops are terrible with a black tinted windows alley with black tail lights. I'm like, she's gonna get pulled over by a car. I know she is, you know. She didn't. But anyway, she picks up Helen, they go to Valley View. What she didn't realize is when you push the key to start it, it pops out, but you got to pull it out. She couldn't get it out.
Oh, jeez.
So they go into Valley View and they're shopping, and the key's in my car the whole time. They went to lunch, the key's in the car the whole time. She can't get it out. All she got to do is pull, but she don't know that. So she didn't tell me that. So when I came home Friday night, I had Randy's car for service.
Yeah.
And so I met them in the driveway. Randy was standing beside Mom in my Audi, with my Audi, and I come up with Randy's car, and I'm like, what's going on? And Randy goes, she can't get the key out. I'm like, you just pull it. So she was surprised to see me. She goes, I said, just pull it, Mom. I'm like, what? I said, just pull it. She goes, and she goes, oh, I couldn't get it out. I didn't know how to get it out. She goes, but I watched the car the whole time. Sure. In there the whole time, and she just couldn't get it. So it was extremely traumatic. For me and Randy just laughed so hard. My mom didn't think it was too funny. She got her stuff done with her Audi. So that was one thing. Just recently, I've had so much fun with her. She don't want to drive any of my cars anymore.
That would be me.
Yeah.
I have a car with a key that I turn.
Yeah. She was looking for where to put the key. That was it. So my old time mom story is when I was in high school in summer during between school. One of our favorite things as guys running around is we always like to go swimming at night. We had a couple friends that had pools, and we used to sneak into the Hummelstown pool in Hummelstown and swim. And of course, we didn't have swim trunks along. We just take our jeans off and underwear off and stuff and go. And what I found out is there's no use wearing my tighty whities that Mom provided for me because they would never dry out. But if I didn't wear them in my jeans, they would dry out perfectly and quickly. And Mom came to me at the end of the week, and can you imagine Shirley's face? She goes, I only have one pair of underwear for you. What? Everybody else has like 6 pair. Where's yours? She thought I was wearing my underwear the whole week. And when I told her, I said, well, Mom, I don't wear underwear anymore. Her face just went. So I'll never forget. I only have one pair of underwear for you.
And you can just picture her.
She thought I was wearing bacon strip underwear, I guess, the whole time. I don't know.
Thank God.
Scott. Oh,
That's my
Scott.
Shirley story.
That's what she would say. Oh, Scott.
I know. That's what she said. So the stories go on and on, but that's my 2 favorite ones for Mom. So. Okay, who's going to start next? Shannon?
I'll
would
start.
you like to start?
So, I think a lot of my memories from Shirley is we have chickens, so I would bring Shirley eggs a lot of the times, and it was normally after I would pick Taja up from the bus. So she'd be like, okay, well, come in and sit down. She'd always want me to come in and sit down at the table. and I'd give her the eggs, and she'd talk, and she'd say, you know, and sometimes Taji would be with me, and she'd be like, oh, Taji, how you doing? How's school? And then she'd say, okay, well, I gotta make Carl dinner now. I'm like, all right, see you, Shirley.
That's awesome.
You know what's happening at 5? Exactly 5?
Yeah.
That's right.
And then when we had our wedding reception back at the house, it was, what time did it start? Was it 4, 3?
It was like 4:30.
It was like
something
3
that.
or 4:30 or something. So we were like upstairs, and then we had this DJ, and he was supposed to like introduce us. It kind of didn't work out, but anyway, we got down, and then we kind of like did the introducing and stuff, and then Shirley came over and said, you know, Carl needs to eat. Can we eat now?
That is so real.
Yeah.
He had to eat at a certain time. That was it. That's exactly right. That's awesome.
Yeah, so she was such a funny lady.
That's great. Taj, you have a story for us?
She would teach me how to make pizzelles.
Oh.
Is that
She's
right?
good at it, too.
All right, well, I expect some next year.
Did she do something else? We were concerned. Shannon agreed, or just like the regular ones.
Regular.
Just a regular.
Yeah.
She's
I know,
always
'cause
do the green
sometimes
ones
you put
for us.
red-
Green. She do the green grain.
Is that right? Very good. Matt, you're up.
Well, there's a lot of them, but one that I thought of the other week, we were talking about your 50th birthday party. Remember how you had the DJ and the tent and all that set up?
Yeah.
I just couldn't get over how, I don't know what time it was, 9, 10 o'clock at night. They were playing that song by, who was it, Jump Around?
Oh, Chris Cross.
Chris Brown.
No.
Cypress Hill?
Oh, Cypress Hill. Yeah.
And Helen and your mom are out there dancing around, jumping around, like they knew what to do. But you know they probably never heard that song before. They're like,
I missed that.
I missed that
perfectly.
too.
Yeah?
That's a
missed
good
that.
one.
We have to look at the videotape on that one.
Yeah.
Well, it was under the tent. You had all that food, and the DJ was here, and they were off to the right. I was just like, holy crap.
Yeah, we have videos and a lot of pictures, but a lot of videos of that event. I don't remember that at all. That's pretty
We
cool.
should pull out those videos. That'd be fun.
Jenny, do you have a
I
favorite
don't
story?
have anything funny, but just walking, like at 2:30 every afternoon, Linda and her would be walking, and a lot of times I'd be just sitting out in the driveway getting the sun. She said, "Aren't
Yeah.
you gonna walk?"
She's good.
You know, and after a while I started joining them, and we walked and we talked about everybody in the neighborhood. She knew everybody and knew all their life, you know, and I really got an education of who was who and what they did for a living and what their kids did. And she also gave a lot of history of this neighborhood and what was there and her growing up here, you know.
Yeah,
I'm
she's a
gonna
wealth
miss
of
it.
knowledge when it
Yeah,
comes to that.
and
no doubt.
in the last few months, well, you know, before she passed, and she had gone to see Aunt Marion, and she was so excited that she was going there, and I had talked to her on the phone, and I said, how was it? And she gave me all that. She said, oh, it was so great, and this and that, and whatever. And then I guess the last time I saw her, I was taking my walk, and I said, are you dressed? You know, I always would call her if I come up, and she says, yeah. I said, well, come on outside, we'll sit, you know, I would try to go, you know, periodically and just sit and chit chat in the back, you know, in the backyard. And
Nice.
she was, you know, I miss her very much. She was,
That's awesome. Thank
she
you.
was great.
Yeah.
And
That
I
was a-
know she's still the boss where she is now.
Oh, yeah.
She is running her neighborhood there. I am convinced that the good Lord she's there doing her thing.
That trip to Washington was a milestone trip.
Yeah,
And now Aunt Marion's not doing that well now
No.
either. We didn't hear anything terrible, but she's not doing that well now.
How old is she?
100.
101.
Is she? How wonderful.
Did she turn 100?
101.
Yeah,
Did she really? Oh my gosh.
Years old.
Okay.
Wow.
Matt,
That's
you're
Greta's
up.
sister.
What do you got for us?
So I got a couple of stories. One was when I worked at a hotel overnight. I would read the USA Today a lot because I didn't really have a lot to do. And they had an article in there about recipes for Thanksgiving. And I wrote up a big long email with a story about Grandma and her sweet potato puffs that she made every year. And everybody enjoys those. You know, sometimes it seemed like people were fighting over them. And I submitted the whole thing with the recipe and all the things in there. And then it wasn't but a couple weeks later, she got a call from Aunt Marion in the morning. You're in USA Today. Did you know you're in USA Today? And so I made her famous for 1 year for Thanksgiving because they had Grandma's sweet potato puff recipe.
I remember that.
Yeah.
I almost made you bring them.
I had a bunch of copies of the USA Today, but I don't know where they got to, unfortunately. And then another one of my favorite stories for her was very shortly after you built this house. You had just gotten the garage finished, drywall and everything, and she was driving that Shirley shuttle up here, and she confused the brakes and the gas and came in and smashed the wall, put a big hole in the wall that was just freshly done and painted, looked so beautiful, bam! And all I remember hearing is kind of hearing it. I turn around and I hear her go, "Oh shit!" And I was like, she goes, "Don't tell your dad." I'm like, "What do you mean, don't tell Dad? How am I not supposed to tell him? You think he's not going to see the giant hole?" So that was funny. I enjoyed that.
That was a big hole.
It was a big hole. It was there for a long time.
Metal push forward.
I'll never forget that. I was walking down the driveway. Poof! What was that? Oh shit! All right. So yeah, those are my stories.
All right, honey, you're up.
It's okay. What's best about that Shirley shuttle is the sticker that Scott put on the back of it. It says, "How's my driving?" And it said, if it's a bad driving, dial Scott's number. So I was always laughing at that. It says, "How's my driving? Dial this number if it's bad." So that was really cute. We'll never forget. It was a Christmas many years ago that we did buy that bad boy buggy for them. And that was a perfect time that we did do that. And we introduced it. I'm not sure who all was here, but we did introduce it in the garage, the new garage at that time.
Yeah.
So, one thing to say, we started this New Year's celebration in 2012. So it was in December of 2012, and it was something for Shirley. So she really, really enjoyed it. And I think I've mentioned this even in the obituary too, is that hey Carla, how you doing? Hang on. So I would say I've had so many stories, as you know, she would bring up, food all the time, leave it on the back porch. We were sick or anything, she would always have something up here. But I think my favorite story goes back when I first met her. And I was this mystery person, and it was in December of 1999. And
Okay. She don't want to listen to story time.
does she not realize you're doing storytelling, hon?
Do you want to hear story time? No. Okay. We all love you too.
We all love you too. Happy New Year. Hi. So that's okay. In December 99, I was just kind of this mystery woman that would come up with my car. And Scott said, well, he goes, it's New Year's Day, we have to go down for pork and sauerkraut. Well, meanwhile, we didn't have this party in December 99 because I had just met him. And we went to Tom and Ruth's house for a party. So this party was, it was a beach party. So we had to dress up in beach uniform. I had painted my nails this bright pink. And then afterwards he said, we gotta go for pork and sauerkraut the next day. My mom wants to meet you. I'm like, ugh. So quickly I'm like, this nail polish has to come off. So where does he go? He goes to Aunt Linda's house. And he says, Aunt Linda, I need some nail polish from you. Take my nail polish off. So I go there, and she had a wonderful pork and sauerkraut meal. It's a tradition that she always does, so which we have maintained since then. But she said to me, she goes, oh, would you like seconds? Because she's used to Carla. Carla never liked to eat much. I said, oh yeah, I have seconds. The biggest thing she said to me, and it's quote unquote, she goes, oh, you're a good eater. And we started laughing. So that has stuck with me from every time that we ever ate. She would say, oh, you're a good eater. We like that. And at that time I was very, very small. So she was surprised that I would eat as much. But believe me, even when I was small, I used to put the food down.
Funny.
So that was funny. That was
She
one story.
refused to go out of the house without getting this. She had blaze orange nail polish.
No, it's pink.
Party. She goes, I'm not gonna meet your parents like this. It's not gonna happen. So I didn't know what to do.
I'm surprised I even had any, because
Yeah.
I don't paint my nails anymore. I had a little bit left.
So my stories aren't funny, but they're more informational. I'm not a storyteller, so.
That's good, though. That's good. Dad, do you have a story to share?
Yes, Shirley loved ice cream and milkshakes. That was her favorite.
Oh, that's a good one.
And so Celeste and I loved milkshakes too. And she was our watchdog for the farm
show.
Farm show milkshakes that was roaming around. Well, she would follow the paper, and she would call them, and she bird dogged them and find out where they're going to be, and then she would tell us where it was going to be, the time, and we had a big coordinate. It was like a raid, a military raid. She coordinated everything. Celeste and I picked me up, Celeste. So Celeste and I jumped in the car, ran over, picked her up, ran there, got our milkshakes. Man, that was the day.
That was great.
She loved those milkshakes, but she was our watchdog.
I will tell you, in this past May, she went and got us farm show milkshakes, and I forgot where they were, but they were somewhere really local that she was at, and it was in May. Where was it? Where was it? It may have been, yeah, maybe one of those two. But she brought us milkshakes back, and that was just this last May, and she absolutely loved it. We have Zach back here. You can't see him from over there.
Oh, Zach, you have a story for us?
I have a story for you.
Yes.
Oh, I got an old guy story.
All right.
Back into the 70s story.
Nice.
Yeah.
Your mother's kindness for giving other people's food has always been remembered. One day, I don't know how it occurred, my dad was down here, and Shirley gave my dad some food. I couldn't tell you what it was to save my life. So about a week or two go by, and I'm home from college, and it's a Saturday. My dad says, I've been out all day, and Shirley needs this bowl back. Okay, so I'll drive down here to take the bowl back to Shirley. So I get in the house, and there's Shirley, and there's somebody else, and there's this little blonde, whom I didn't know for anything. Yeah, that one. That blonde. So I started talking to her. And the next thing I know, I said, well, you want to go out? And she said yes, and we discussed the time and that. So I went back to my dad's place. And I said, I got a date with Shirley's sister, but I don't remember her name.
I remember that day.
Yeah. And talking about Shirley's versatility. Now, Shirley used to walk with Linda, and she used to keep up all the notes of all the family. Well, unfortunately, I'm the new Shirley, and you're the new Shirley. I walk with Linda, and you keep up with the family news.
That's right. That's exactly right. Good, thanks. Yeah.
I remember that day Zach came down because he was driving a blue Dodge Dart.
Right.
And at that time, he had a mustache, I think a little
Goatee,
goatee,
yeah.
thing, relatively long hair for the 70s.
Yeah.
And Mom goes, who's that? And I'm like, how would I know? How old was I? 10 or 11, or maybe 12 or whatever. And she goes, oh, that's Zach. Oh my gosh, that's Zach. And Mom was busy with somebody. She was visiting with somebody at that time. There was somebody there with her. And so she didn't have time for Zach, so to speak, you know what I mean? And that's how you guys were talking in the kitchen table together, yeah. That's funny, that's a good story.
That's really great, Zach.
How about y'all?
I never really interacted with her that much. I mean,
Yeah.
over the years, other than her always calling for Carl's haircuts.
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Sue?
We didn't come up here till, I think I was in 10th grade, so it was early 70s. This was the best neighborhood. All the neighbors were great, but Carl and Shirley just were very special. They were good neighbors to everybody. They all were, everybody helped everybody, and I just have a lot of fond memories of everybody.
Yeah.
I really do.
It was a nice neighborhood, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I got in the car, we'd sneak out and have cigars and cigarettes.
That's awesome.
Very
That
cool.
was funny, but, yeah. No, they were very good to my parents.
He's gonna go first, cause he's
Yeah.
gonna tell you how we met.
Yeah, so
Shirley
Val and I
and-
decided to go on a bush trip to Niagara Falls. And we thought, oh, this is great, you know, and it was before I was starting a new job. So we get on this bus, and it's a pretty long trip up to New York there. And we found out right across the seats from us was a couple, and their name was Ortenzio. And we're Baffa, and we're all Italian. We said, oh, you're Italian? Yeah, oh man. Well, we hit it off immediately. And that was 15 years ago. It was 2009. And we had so many times that we got together and went out to eat together. And of course, I played golf with Carl. And we just, we had, and with you guys, right. But we had such a great relationship. And I shared this before. The one thing I appreciated about Shirley, every Veterans Day, she would send, "Thank you for your service." You know, and you know that really meant something to me as a veteran. And you never hear that too much, you know. But I really appreciate that.
She never missed a Veterans
She never.
Day.
We get it in the mail. Yeah.
She never missed any.
Carl and Shirley are-
Yeah, she never missed
She
anything.
never missed a thing.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, I mean, the 15 years, there was not one day Shirley did not send me an email.
Every day.
I look forward to that email every single day. And Shirley, she's just the most wonderful person I ever met in my life. She would make you feel special. She would know so many people. She would make every person she meets special. And that just really touched me. And I think she wrote me every day because I shared with her that I had lost all my aunts. I lost a lot of people in the family and everything. So she felt like she's gonna keep me company every day, and she did for 15 years.
Yeah.
We would just talk about everything, and we would also meet once a month at the the country store in Mount Joy.
Oh.
We would
Yeah.
meet there once a month. We'd have coffee. We would chat, and we got to know the lady, the owner of the store over there. And then we would go shopping, and we had very much in common, cooking and food. So that would be a lot in our discussions on the emails. What you cooking? I knew what she was cooking. She knew what I was cooking. I mean, it was a fun thing. And I just can't believe that she's gone.
Yeah.
I still feel her every day. Sometimes I want to run over to the computer and start writing her. But
I would.
Yeah.
she said you should, and I really should do that. But she was just the most beautiful person I've ever met. I can truly say that, and I've met a lot of people, and I have a lot of friends. But she was very, very special in our lives. We love them both so much.
Very nice.
That's very nice.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Hey guys.
Hey, come on in. Just in time for story time.
Shirley's story.
Shirley Stories, come on in. Just in time.
You're up, Melissa.
You're going to be next.
So Randy couldn't be here because he's sick, so I'm gonna read. He typed something up and then printed it out for me to read. He wrote, "It would take me hours to tell you stories about all the good things that she has done for me. My Aunt Shirley was an amazing person and someone who cared for all of us. But tonight I decided to share with you a treasure that I found when I was going through her house in Scott's old bedroom, Shirley's office. There were so many memorable things to look through and read. My treasure is not of monetary value, but a notebook that included special memories," which I can tell you, he's been reading all the time. "As you all know, Shirley started a sibling breakfast, which was held on the first Saturday of each month. She would make the reservations at a local restaurant, send the invitations by email, and follow up to make sure that everyone was going to be in attendance. Her siblings meant a lot to her, and she enjoyed when they were together. She would often take pictures during the events. My treasure is a notebook that included the date, times, people in attendance, who was absent, and other special occasions, notes of what they were celebrating that Aunt Shirley has recorded for every sibling breakfast since 2015 to 2024. And I saw it. It's incredible. Like, some of the notes she would write, we were laughing reading some of the information. It was pretty cool. The first Byler sibling breakfast was held on October 3rd, 2015 at the Hometown Restaurant in Palmyra at 8:30 a.m. that had 11 siblings and spouses in attendance, and they celebrated Aunt Helen's 80th birthday. Ray, Linda, and Daryl did not attend. There were many pages. Oh, this is all listed. It's so funny. There were many pages listed in this notebook of the breakfast that were held from 2015 to 2024. Aunt Shirley's last entry was a sibling breakfast that was held on June 1st, 2024 at Uncle Dwayne's and Aunt Debbie's house in their new room addition in their home at 9 a.m. They had 11 siblings and spouses attend, and Darvin had gifts for everyone. It was a sunny and nice day, and the temperature was 75 degrees.
Oh my God.
Daryl and Ray did not attend again.
I know.
Melissa has photos of the first and last entries of the sibling breakfast. He sent them to me on a cell phone. If you're interested, I'll share them with you tonight. Also, there's a photo of the Byler siblings and notes from Aunt Shirley listing that she listed of notes that she placed in the notebook. And he is going to give Uncle Dwayne the notebook, since he's going to continue that, and he's hoping that he will keep up on the notes and the entries. But he very much loves and misses Aunt Shirley, and I know that just from living with him and what he shared with me. So yeah,
That's pretty cool.
yeah,
Nice,
was
that's
pretty
cool.
But it's so fun. She wrote so much detail. I'm like,
That's what you
that's
call.
almost too much information. That
That's
she
what you
should.
call specificity.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the sad part about that is the last one was the one that everybody drove down, you know,
Yes.
to Carla's
Yeah,
house
no
in
entry.
Newtown
There's no
Square.
entry.
She didn't have an
Yeah.
opportunity
We
to
should
enter
probably
that
write-
one though.
Write something in there.
But that suppose that was a really
Yes.
special to her as well.
She had another one, and for me, I have so many little just like random thoughts of her. But one thing, and I don't know how this ever happened, and I told her, but she never removed me. Somehow I was in her. She would send like a monthly email to all of her classmates. Somehow I was a part of that. I think I don't know why. And she's like, I have to delete you, and she never did. But she kept a notebook on all that stuff when they got together too.
Wow.
Super detailed. Who was in attendance?
Wow.
That we saw at the house too. But
Oh, really?
I was trying to think back, and I couldn't remember the first time that I had an opportunity to meet her, and I couldn't remember. But I just think of funny times, like the one time it was here, and love Uncle Carl when I would see him, because you have to talk about Uncle Carl and talk about Aunt Shirley. But he would always give me a huge hug, and I miss when I walk by smelling his cigar, being outside. I was like, I know he's
Yeah.
outside. I can smell his cigar. But he'd always go to bed early, like we said. He'd leave. But the one night, she wanted to go over and try to wake him up. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
And we took pots and pans, and we were on the back of the buggy.
Yeah.
I think I fell off the buggy.
Yeah.
It was so, and I'm like, oh, we were so loud. He never heard a thing either. Never woke up. Next day, she's like, he didn't even hear a thing. We were so loud outside the bedroom window. So, yeah, but she's very much missed.
That's a great,
yeah.
that's
Yeah.
a great story. Thank you.
Well,
Linda, you're up.
I know. I got so many. I couldn't
Yeah.
tell you. We started going to yard sales, and then we'd go to buy Beanie Babies.
Oh.
I'd get up at 8 o'clock in the morning, and I'd have to set my alarm clock. And Zach was always so mad because it would wake him up too.
Yeah. You're getting up for what?
Yeah,
I know.
on a weekend.
Yeah.
At the weekend, yeah. So, and then other things were, we'd always go to craft fairs and just hang out, do our walking every day. Even when I was working, we would walk at 7 o'clock at night.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. You
Yeah,
guys
I'd
walking every
eat
day.
and quick run down to
Mhm.
walk at 7. So, I don't know, I just miss it.
Sure.
Yeah.
I bet, yeah. She
Oh, I
kept
got-
you updated.
April, you have something to share?
Yeah, I do. Well, actually, Taj reminded me. Aunt Shirley taught me how to make pizzelles as well, and I actually helped. It was for Carla's first wedding. We made pink ones, and I helped make
Wow.
tons of pizzelles.
Wow.
Tons of pizzelles. But the story that I actually had thought of before Taj had mentioned the pizzelles was we used to come down. It was the Beanie Babies. I don't even know how many Beanie Babies she had.
Oh
She
my
just
God, she had like
collected them.
300
And
of
this
them.
is my daughter, who is 30. So this was probably maybe 25-ish years ago or so. We would come down probably every month, and Aunt Shirley would show us all the new Beanie Babies that she got, and here and there, if she got like a duplicate, she'd give one to my daughter. But she just took so much pride in the Beanie Babies that she collected. Oh my God, I don't know what she ever did with them. Do you know?
She distributed a lot of them through the grandkids.
That's
Did
what I
she?
was thinking, where
Yeah.
did they go to the?
Because she had, and the collector's ones and the special editions, and she just had.
And
everything.
Celeste has a couple special ones, like the Lady Di.
I have the Lady Diana
Oh,
in
do
here.
you?
She gave that to me.
Yeah,
That's
but,
cool.
and I just want to thank you for inviting me for. I guess it was 2 years ago. You had me come as the mystery
You were the
guest.
special guest.
Special
Okay.
guest for Aunt Shirley.
Yeah.
So
That's
I
awesome.
Really, yeah.
Yep.
really
We
nice.
tried to make a new or special guest every year. Sue was one, last year. Yeah, because it was fun for Mom.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
We
awesome.
We felt special, you invited us. It was
Yeah,
so
of
grateful.
course. Yeah.
So happy, I feel Shirley here.
Yeah. Hey, well, welcome, Joel and Amy. Thanks for coming. Do you have a story to share with Shirley?
Come on,
you
Joel.
do.
Yes, you do.
Think off the top of my head.
The Joel story I like is, I don't know what year it was, but it's probably when we were redoing the house at the time. And you and Amy were on a vacation, or could have even been your honeymoon, I don't know. But I said, no, don't bother him. He's on his honeymoon. He's on vacation. But he's only on his honeymoon. And she's calling and texting me. Like, that was not important to her at all. If you need to talk to Joel, he's available. Right?
Did she ever make you anything? Come on, Joel.
Really crappy cookies in the middle of a snowstorm. Brad threw them out the window. Hockey pucks.
Those are my favorite. I like those.
No, that was fun. There's so much night. How cool is it to grow up with your parents and then live beside your parents for all but 2 years of my whole life? You know what I mean? And that night, they got Christmas Eve. We gave them the bad boy buggy, and Christmas it snowed, and it was a 4-wheel drive. And I looked out the window, and there was tracks all over from them going. I don't know where they were going. But they were going up the hill.
That thing got mileage on it, man.
And I think Carl liked it more than Shirley. Carl used it more than Shirley.
Really?
Well, I would say one of my favorite memories with that bad boy buggy is that next morning we weren't even out of bed, and it was like 7:30, and there's Carl going up right on the back, and he's riding around the whole neighborhood with that.
It was the biggest toy he ever got.
Yeah.
And I bought it for Mom.
He confiscated that really quick.
Yeah.
He enjoyed it.
That was fun. Thanks for all the stories. That's awesome.
Well, Melissa, you said about smelling his cigar. It reminded me of when I used to work in the shop, like all the time. I'd be out there working, I'd be like, oh, here comes the mayor. Here he comes, looking around, see what's going on.
Well, he never brought the cigar inside the house, but as soon as you walked in the garage, you knew he was there. I mean, it was it. At some point in time, Dad used to drive cars down to Boyd's for me all the time, but I couldn't let him do it anymore because the cigar smoke was on his clothes, and it would smell the car, of my customers. I just couldn't let him do it anymore because that cigar smoke just stuck with everything. Now I'm driving Shirley's car, which Dad drove, of course. And if you get in that car right now, you can still smell cigar.
Really?
You can still smell
So
it.
it gets into the upholstery. And
Well, and I had an ionizer at work. I had that in there for 2 nights.
Still
It took it
smells.
90% of the way, But I asked her, I said, "You smell it?" He goes, "Yeah, I can smell it."
Wow.
Well, yeah, Shirley actually tried to cover it up with mothball smell.
Yeah.
And it still reeks. But mothballs. She used to mothballs. Yeah. Well, I have to say, you talk about Here Comes the Mayor. That reminds me when we were reconstructing this house,
Oh, I'm sure he was.
and Joel was doing all the building. What do you think? He was up here every day. Carl was. He was the overseer.
Joel thought I
He was-
hired him to watch.
Yeah.
Didn't you?
Didn't you, Joel?
Maybe.
Yeah, it was really a lot of fun. And he would take that little roller and pick up all the nails that Joel left, and he would constantly be on top of them and say, "Joel, you got to clean up after your mess. You got to clean up after your mess." But Joel was the cleanest builder you will ever have. I can tell you that.
Grandpa.
Yeah, because of Grandpa.
Yeah. That was really, really special to growing up beside him. That's, having them right down here. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, good. Thanks for all the stories. That's awesome.
So I would like to do a picture now that we have everybody here, and if we could gather around. What I want to do is probably maneuver this.
But we need a professional picture taker. Wait a minute. We have